Welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Lisa, and I love everything colorful makeup, especially indie brands. And welcome to episode 8 of Music Inside the Makeup. If you're new, I do Music Inside the Makeup every month on the second Saturday. For this month, spooky month, October, I said, you know what? We have to do Alice Cooper. I loved theater growing up. I loved acting, movies, especially horror movies, just theater. I've been to a ballet a couple of times with my mom when I was younger. I just loved the theater, the whole theatrics of it, right? Acting is just the art of it all. And Alice Cooper definitely had brought that. A little fucked up in the mind, yes. And if you know anything about Alice Cooper, you kind of know why. And I'm still figuring out how I can put the music up without getting copyrighted. 18 and School's Out, those two songs that I have chosen. The indie brand that I have chosen is Ensley, and we're going to be playing with the Underland palette. I do have the Underland highlighter on as well. This is like red, okay? This is red. You can see the sheen of it. But I also decided to put a little green highlighter on as well. One of the new NYX Buttermelt highlighters, the duochrome ones. I do have the Underland palette swatched out on my hand here. And I went a little haywire with this right here, which is from Glam Light, the Twilight collection. I put it all over my body. I put it in my hair. I'm like, you know what? It's October. Halloween is upon us. It is spooky season, y'all. And I am dressed up. The persona, the theatrics, and what have you. Another Alice in Wonderland themed collection. I did pick up the Bougie palette. It's on its way to me. I didn't get the collection. I wasn't digging it. So just the palette's a 9-pan palette. I think it's the Broken Looking Glass. Please let me know in the comments. I am so bad at remembering collection names or names in general, but I absolutely love the color story in it. It's dark, it's gloomy. And you know, ER, if you love Ensley like I do, then you already know that I'm sure the multi-chromes in there are absolutely fire. You can do a deeper dive on Alice Cooper if you so choose on Wikipedia. But we're going to be reading off of Spotify. So hopefully you have this palette. If not, maybe a color story shopping your stash that is similar. Grab your toddy, your cooler, your water, your Gatorade, your coffee, your brushes, and come on back and let's have some fun. Okay, I've got my granny glasses on. Let's get to this. 5,471,659 listeners on Spotify, including myself. The man and the band who first brought shock rock to the masses, Alice Cooper became one of the most successful and influential acts of the 70s, with their gritty but authentic hard rock and live show that delivered a rock and roll chamber of horrors, thrilling fans and cultivating outrage from authority figures, which made fans love them all the more. The name Alice Cooper originally referred to both the band and its lead singer, born Vincent Furnier, I believe this is, as they played dark, eccentric, psychedelic rock on their first 2 albums, Pretty's For You, 1969, and Easy Action, 1970. After a spell in Detroit where they soaked up the high-energy influence of the Stooges and the MC5. Alice Cooper scored breakthrough hits in 1971 with I'm 18 and the album Love It to Death, in which the group finally stumbled upon the formula that made them stars, blending tough, dirty, guitar-fueled hard rock with Cooper's sneering vocals and lyrics that were by turns relatable. I'm 18, Body, and willfully spooky Black Juju, the Ballad of Dwight Fry, coupled with a live show that included snakes, electric chairs, fake blood, and mock hangings. Alice Cooper had something to offend everyone. From 1971's Killer to 1973's $1 Billion Babies, they could seemingly do no wrong. Following the commercial and the critical disappointment of 1973's Muscle of Love, the Alice Cooper Band broke up, and Alice went forward as a solo act, delivering a cleaner and a more professional variation on the themes of his early 70s hits, while the band attempted to continue as $1 Billion Babies, with little success. Cooper's glossy 1975 solo debut, Welcome to My Nightmare, was a massive hit, and his shows became even more elaborate as he became a regular fixture on television, but subsequent solo releases saw his following dwindle until 1989's Trash and 1991's Hey Stupid, where he blended his trademark sound with hair metal arrangements and production and gained a new audience. Cooper's dedicated fan base kept him in the game long after his 70s peak, touring regularly and releasing albums like 2021's high-spirited Detroit Stories and 2023's tightly wound, live-sounding Set Road. Vincent Furnier formed his first group, the Earwigs, as an Arizona teenager in the early 60s, changing the band's name to the Spiders in 1965. The group was eventually called the Nazz, not to be confused with Todd Rundgren's band of the same name. The Spiders and the Nazz both released local singles that were moderately popular. In 1968, after discovering there was another band with the same name, the group changed its name to Alice Cooper. According to the band legend, the name came to Furnier during a Ouija board session. Yo. How fitting is this for spooky season, right? Where he was told he was the reincarnation of a 17th century witch of the same name. Comprised of vocalist Furnier, who would soon begin calling himself Alice Cooper, guitarist Mike Bruce, guitarist Glenn Buxton, bassist Dennis Dunaway, and drummer Neil Smith, the group moved to California in 1968. There, they met Shep Gordon, who became their manager, and Frank Zappa, who signed Alice Cooper to his Straight Records imprint. Alice Cooper released their first album, Pretties for You, in 1969. Easy Action followed early in 1970, but failed to chart. The group's reputation in Los Angeles was slowly shrinking, so the band moved to Furnier's hometown of Detroit. For the next year, the group refined their bizarre stage show. Late in 1970, the group's contract was transferred to Straight's distributor Warner Brothers, and they began recording their third album with producer Bob Ezrin. With Ezrin's assistance, Alice Cooper developed their classic heavy metal crunch on 1971's Love It to Death, which featured the number 21 hit single 18. The album peaked at number 35 and went gold. The success enabled the group to develop a more impressive, elaborate live show, which made them a highly popular concert attraction across the US and eventually the UK. Killer, released late in 1971, was another gold album. Released in the summer of 1972, School's Out was Alice Cooper's breakthrough record, peaking at number 2 and selling over 1 million copies. The title song became a top 10 hit in the US and a number 1 single in the UK. $1 Billion Babies, released the following year, was the group's biggest hit, reaching number 1 in both America and Britain. The album's first single, No More Mr. Nice Guy, became a top 10 hit in Britain, Peaking at number 25 in the US, Muscle of Love appeared late in 1973, yet it failed to capitalize on the success of Billion Dollar Babies. After Muscle of Love, Fournier and the rest of Alice Cooper's parted ways to pursue other projects. Having officially changed his name to Alice Cooper, Fournier embarked on a similarly theatrical solo career. The rest of the band released one unsuccessful album under the name Billion Dollar Babies, while Mike Bruce and Neil Smith both recorded solo albums that were never issued. In the fall of 1974, a compilation of Alice Cooper's 5 Warner albums entitled Alice Cooper's Greatest Hits became a top 10 hit. For his first solo album, Welcome to My Nightmare, Cooper hired Lou Reed's backing band from Rock and Roll Animal guitarist Dick Wagner and Steve Hunter, bassist Prakash John, keyboardist Joseph Krowski, and drummer Penty Glan as his supporting group. Released in the spring of 1975, the record was similar to his previous work and became a top 10 hit in America, launching the hit acoustic ballad Only Women Bleed. Its success put out an end to any idea of reconvening Alice Cooper with the band. Its follow-up, 1976's Alice Cooper Goes to Hell, was another hit, going gold in the US. After that album, Cooper's career began to slip, partially due to changing trends and partially due to his alcoholism. Cooper entered rehab in '78, writing an album about his treatment called From the Inside, 1978, with Bernie Taupin, Elton John's lyricist. During the early 80s, Cooper continued to release albums and tour, yet he was no longer as popular as he was during his early 70s heyday. Cooper made successful comeback in the late 80s, sparked by his appearance in horror films and a series of pop metal bands that paid musical homage to his classic early records and concerts. Constrictor, released in 1986, started his comeback, but it was 1989's Trash that returned Cooper's to the spotlight. Produced by proven hitmaker Desmond Child, Trash featured guest appearances by John Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora, and the most of Aerosmith. The record became a top 10 hit in Britain and peaked at number 20 in the US, going platinum. Poison, a mid-tempo rocker featured on the album, became Cooper's first top 10 single since 1977. After the release of Trash, he continued to star in the occasional film, tour, and record. Although he wasn't able to retain the audience he'd recaptured with Trash, still, 1991's Hey Stupid and 1994's The Last Temptation were generally solid. Professional efforts that helped Cooper settle into a comfortable cult status without damaging the critical goodwill surrounding his 70s output. After a live album, 1997's Fistful of Alice, Cooper returned on the smaller Spitfire label in 2000 with Brutal Planet, and Dragged Down a year later. The Eyes of Alice Cooper appeared in 2003 and found Cooper and company playing a more stripped-down brand of near garage rock. Dirty Diamonds from 2005 was nearly as raw and hit the streets around the same time Cooper premiered his syndicated radio show Nights with Alice Cooper. 3 years later, he returned with Along Came a Spider, a concept album that told the story of a spider-obsessed serial killer. In 2010, he released the live album Theater of Death, along with the download-only EP of redone Cooper classics titled Alice Does Alice. 2011's Welcome to My Nightmare, a sequel to his 1975 conceptual classic of the same name, minus the two, was recorded with a longtime co-conspirator Bob Ezrin and featured 14 brand new cuts that spanned multiple genres and relied on the talents of a host of previous members of the Alice Cooper band, including Steve Hunter. as well as a guest spot from pop superstar Kesha. The same year, he was awarded the Kerrang! Icon Award. Advancing years didn't prevent Cooper from maintaining a hectic schedule, and by 2012, he was touring with Iron Maiden and headlining a Bloodstock open air. Aside from his musical pursuits, he also starred in Tim Burton's adaptation of Dark Shadows, playing himself alongside Helena Bonham Carter, Johnny Depp, and Michelle Pfeiffer. He returned to touring in 2014 as the opening act for Motley Crue. Motley Crue's final tour, I should say. And the following year, he unveiled a new supergroup called Hollywood Vampires, which included Johnny Depp and Joe Perry. They subsequently released an album of rock covers. He reunited with Ezrin yet again for his 27th studio record. Paranormal was released in 2017, featuring contributions from ZZ Top's Billy Gibbons, Deep Purple's Roger Glover, and U2's Larry Mullen, alongside original band members Smith, Dunaway, and Bruce. The album was also released in a special edition with a bonus disc of live material. Early the following year, an EP was released centered around Paranormal's single, The Sound of A, which included a handful of live cuts from his 2017 tour. In August 2018, Cooper released A Paranormal Evening at the Olympia, Paris, a live album drawn from his European tour in support of the Paranormal album. A 2019 EP, Breadcrumbs, saw Cooper paying tribute to his hometown of Detroit, with songs written about his early garage rock heroes. He continued the Detroit homage on his next full-length 2021's Detroit Stories. In addition to many new songs of his own, the album included covers of Bob Seger, Detroit indie mainstays, Outrageous Cherry, and the Velvet Underground. Rock and roll, presented in the style of Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels' 1971 rendition. The LP peaked at number 47 on the Billboard 200 and at number 7 on the top independent albums chart. The following year saw the release of the concert album Detroit Stories, Paranormal, A Paranormal Evening with Alice Cooper at the Olympia, Paris. In August of 2023, Cooper released a new album, Road. This set of new guitar-heavy tunes sought to capture the power his band had in an on-stage setting. In addition to the album's live sound, Road was held together by the loose conceptual theme of situations unique to the rock and roll touring life. The album fared well on the Billboard charts, making the hard rock top 10 while topping the UK's rock and metal charts. Tours with Motley Crue, Def Leppard, and Rob Zombie followed. Cooper's 2024 output was mainly archival, though he did issue a new acoustic recording of his 1973 cut, Teenage Lament 74, as part of a deluxe reissue of its parent album, Muscle of Love. So with that, this is Stephen Thomas, Erlewin, and Mark Deming, and Rovi writing here on Spotify on Alice Cooper's account. And that, my friends, is just a little tiny snippet about Alice Cooper and his band and some of his, life. As you guys know, I love this part of Music Inside the Makeup. It brings the artists to life, so to speak, and they're just talking a little bit about their life and how they got together and the music coming together and the magic that happens between these artists. The guitarist, the lead singer, the drummer, the bassist, keyboardist, whatever, what have you, and coming together and writing just amazing music. And of course, Mr. Cooper has been around for decades, right? Another icon. And I would just like to say, rest in peace to, King Ace Frehley, who was a member of KISS If you know, you know. May he rest in peace. Another piece of my childhood, another piece of, you know, rock and roll legend, icon gone. Yeah, so rest in peace, Ace. You'll be missed. Thank you for the decades of amazing music. With that, let's get into a look together using Ensley Rain's Underland palette. This was their Halloween release last year, and this is a great Halloween palette. It's a great fall palette, especially if you love these dark, grungy kinds of colors. Starting out with this pure pigmented white here, and it is called Twisted Rabbit. And I'm gonna put that in my crease and all over. You know me, I never know what I'm gonna do. And I just love the creative process of that, and coming on here and sharing it with you and saying, hey, what should we do? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take my Singe 3 fluffy brush, and I am literally putting this in my crease, on my hood, on my brow bone, in the front here. And I'm just gonna build this up, which then is going to be pretty much my transition color to lighten up whatever dark shade I decide to use. I will definitely be using this white to blend out as well, because it's the only light color in this palette to use to blend out, which was kind of smart, seeing how this is all dark and grungy and very moody, you know, so that you can turn these dark shades into pastels if you want by mixing the white together, or at least a definite lighter shade to use that to blend out. So I'm going to take this blue. I think that's what I'm going to do. This little bit of a lighter blue, if you will, and it is called Dreadful Dreams. And I'm going to take my Rephr brush here. This is out of the Shoto set, the 00. And it's kind of flat, but oval here. And I love this set, and I truly want to get more Rephr brushes. And I am going to put this in my crease from front to back. I just want to build this color up in my crease and on my hood to create, you guessed it, fake crease, because we as hooded gals here. Just placing this color right now into my socket in my crease, and then turning it and blending what I have in my socket, in my crease, and creating that fake crease, right, on my hood. And as y'all know, this is my problem child, because I have scars here that do not like to hold color. They just don't. Now, I have done some pretty intricate looks as of lately, so I'm going to try to make this a more simpler look. We're having fun blasting our music, pretending that we are 17 again, posters of our icons and crushes on the wall, playing with colorful eyeshadow and creating some crazy ass looks, and just having fun, just pretending and just like putting yourself way back when and just having fun. And I really hope when you guys watch my content, I hope that's exactly what you're doing. I really do. I hope you're creating right along with me. And if you are, my gosh, thank you so much. And it means so much, you know, that you're actually doing that. And it's kind of like as if we're like hanging out together and just chilling. I mean, I know you guys aren't talking back to me, but still at the same time, I just kind of imagine, like, you know, like my friends sitting in my bedroom, blasting our music, Alice Cooper, whatever, and just doing each other's makeup. I'm just envisioning that. I just am. Call me crazy. Call me silly. Because I am all those things. Silly, crazy, like big goof, love to make people laugh, have a heart that's huge, and just want to help others. This is like a blue gray on me. So I am blending the edges into that white that we already laid down. And because these are so pigmented and blend amazing, I really do not have to dip into any more product. I can move this product with no problems, no patchiness, and just having that blend like that. What do I want to do? Rabbit hole. So we use the white to kind of blend out all over, and this kind of blue-gray in the crease, and created our fake crease. And now we're going into rabbit hole. And this is going to give more depth in the crease. And I'm gonna go straight on. In my socket into that blue, and allow the bristles very gently onto my fake crease here. Like that. And you can tell already the depth that it's giving. And now we're gonna go back one more time into that lighter blue. So the brush I just used into Dreadful Dreams. On the outside. Right on my fake crease here. And yeah, this is probably going to be a glam look. Just a little more on the easier side. Not as many steps, I'm hoping, but I always say that. And then 7 shadows in, we're doing an hour look. Love it. And so I'm going to go back into my fluffy brush. Actually, instead of the Singe one, I'm going to use the fluffy brush that goes to the Shoto set, and this is the 3, into the white. This is more densely packed than the Singe one. And to just blend out those edges, soften them. And even allow it to kind of carry that color up on my hood. I sound like Bob Ross. Let me know in the comments if you know who I'm talking about. I'll put a little happy little tree here next to the sad river. Like, oh my gosh, my grandfather used to love to watch him. Just the way he'd talk about where he would put the trees and the mountains, and talk about it was such a lovely thing to hear, even at my age, because I was pretty young. Even though if I had no clue, but I've always loved crafting. I've always loved painting, loved art anyway. And so did my grandfather. It was always fun and soothing to listen to Bob Ross paint. Watch him and listen to him. Okay, I think that is good for that. So I decided to use purple. We're gonna use this one. It is the Cheshire's Curse. I'll take my Unearthly small brush. This is the Unearthly 4. And V this just like this. Now literally just placing this purple. So kind of just connecting the blue and this purple here. Fill this purple in here, just on the inner portion of my lid here. Like so. I'm gonna go in one more time on each side. I have no idea if this is going, it might not work out at all, but trust the process. So I'm gonna take that dark blue with that rougher pencil and go straight on with this in my socket again. Like that for now. And go back in with that flat brush. Dreadful dreams. I think in the end, trusting the process, it will all be fine. Just blending that purple outer edge in tiny little circles, just really letting the tip of this brush kind of blend the edges here. Like that. I'm going to take the fluffy brush and go into the white. Start here in the middle, very gently blending the outer edges here. Like that. Flat brush, rabbit hole. And I'm gonna just put it here in the middle. That it matches the blue that's here, and I'm gonna put the purple here and here. I have to get another one of these brushes because the glue has come off the ferrule. So I have to be very, very careful with this brush. I love this brush. Connect here. The purple. And see, so I'm gonna take my CB4 and I'm just a little bit of the white and kind of just start on the inner corner so it's lighter on the inner corner. Thank you so much for sticking it out with me. And hopefully you guys really do like this series. You know, I enjoy doing it. Kind of blend that. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm gonna put some glitter glue on just in the middle here. I don't know how I feel about this look just yet. I am going to use this one, which is this marbled multi-chrome here. It's called Shatter Looking Glass, which I think is the name of their new collection, their new palette. She is a foily gal. This is by Pixie, anything with glycerin. And this is going smack dab in the middle. Even though I have put on some mixed glitter glue, I'm still spraying this because she is foily. I feel like that says Jabberwocky that I might use just on the edges here where the purple is. Now going into Jabberwocky here, this multi-chrome, and kind of blending it. That is, wow, okay. I like that. I am going to put some liner on this dark purple, or I might even do the blue. Mascara, lashes, and come back with the finished look. And here is the finished look. I had so much fun doing this. I had so much fun doing this. I took two of my multi-chrome ColourPop liners, the blue one here in the middle and the purple here and here, and then just took some black liner and tight lined a lash mascara. The mascara I'm using is the Milani one, which is the highly rated. I had red and green highlighter, and of course I didn't do a red or a green look at all. It turned out to be blue and purple. The hell? Kind of tweaked this look a little bit. I love the way that it came out. I think it's super, super pretty. Glam, dark, gloomy, grungy, you know, the feel, right? Of course, we use the white, this purple, this blue, and I just went in a little further to deepen up. I just didn't think that this purple was dark enough, and I think that's why I was like, you know, it needs something more. It needs to be deeper. And so I took up here, and it's a very, very deep, dark purple, as you can see. And then blended that right on top of that other purple. And now I'm definitely satisfied with this look. Fitting, right? Dark Alice in Wonderland. And for this month, October, spooky season, Halloween, Alice Cooper for Music Inside the Makeup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're enjoying this series. And if you're new, hopefully you subscribe and stay a while, say hi. Please give this video a thumbs up and share because it truly does help out my channel. Thank you so, so much. I do have an affiliate code with Ensley Rain. It's all capital letters, FFM Lisa. It will save you 10%, and I can't wait for Bougie to get to me. It might take me a little bit to pick up the new Alice in Wonderland, Ensley Rain's new collection. And I've only seen a couple of reviews of people that have received it in PR, but I'm not sure if it's launched already or if it will be launching soon. But I'm kind of excited for that. Let me know. Do you have Underland from last Halloween? And are you planning on getting the new one? Do you have Bougie? Have you ever seen Alice Cooper in concert? Because unfortunately, here is another icon I have not had a chance to see. With that, you guys, I really hope you enjoy Music Inside the Makeup. Again, like I said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see you on the next one. Keep rocking and keep creating. Love you guys. Till next time.